Shine today, hoping the now, God, we won't stand for any other way. If in the dust of the twilight dim be the regions afar, will not the present challenges brighten the glimmering stars? Then when the challenges are upon us, why should our hearts sink away? Yes, when the difficulties come, hoping God will lead the way. Hoping God is an anchor so steadfast it rends the dark veil from the soul, where our Master Jesus enters, robbing the grave of its gold. Come then, O glad fruition, come to my ready heart. Come, O thou blessed hope of glory, take my heart to the hope-filled stars. Yes, whispering hope, how welcome thy voice, making my heart deep and fully rejoice. Oh, whispering hope, yes, whispering hope. Oh, how welcome thy voice, making my heart deeply and fully rejoice. So that was an edit of the partial poem from a long time ago. So, Lord, we just come to you. And we say you're the God of hope, and we look into your eyes. The Song of Solomon 5, that the daughters of Jerusalem said, who is this one that we might know him also? Who is this one we see in your eyes? Who is this one we see you gazing at? Who is this one that your eyes are filled with wonder, with love, with the hop in your step where your feet don't even touch the ground? Who is this one that we see you're just satiated in love and unburdened by the cares of the day? Who is your beloved that we might know him also? We say, like the Shulamite woman, arm in arm, we come before you, our God. We say our greatest pleasure is to look where that Shulamite woman looked and beyond, to look into your eyes. Draw us after you as a hope team, as hope friends. Draw us after you and let us run together into your heart. Allow us to enter into places of the discovery of you that men and women have longed to enter into. We want everybody to have this. It's just not us. But Lord, in this hour where in Acts 18, people are running to the hill, Nob Hill, to find out what's new, Mars Hill, to know what's new. Always looking for the new news, always looking for the headlines. God, there's a place where Paul said, come and really look at what you desire to see, the unknown God. All the earth see the unknown God. Look at him with us. Turn your eyes away and get a glimpse of his eye. And forever you'll see those dove eyes when everyone has some sort of distraction in their life. You have those dove's eyes towards each one of us, that you see only us, you're fully attentive to us, that we are the apple of your eye, we're the desire of your heart, that you fashioned us so many years ago, and then you brought us forth in our mother's womb, and you said how magnificent we were, how beautifully and wonderfully made. And you just, even as I looked at my granddaughter, Gia, and I just saw her go from that state where she was just tussling about, got into my arms, and the smile broke forth on her face. I was done. I couldn't breathe. I was stunned just to see you in the face of a child, a baby. And for you to say in your word, like the Shulamite woman said in Psalms 45:7, and David said that you are fairer than the children of men, that you're more innocent, you're more beautiful, you're more filled with hope, you're more untouched by the challenges of the earth, and you're not naive like a newborn baby, you know it all. And you have chosen to live this renewed mind, this place of a heavenly perspective, this place where you can only see hope from. There's no other place but to look into your eyes and see the fullness of hope the fullness of Zephaniah 3:16-17, that you're dancing with joy, celebrating over us, and then you're quiet over us in your love. You're not churning your hands. You've never been challenged by a devil, by an enemy, by the circumstances on the earth. God, you are the conqueror and the victorious God, and we see that one, the Shulamite woman, saw that's abundantly available in all our times of need immediately. This one that is beautiful beyond description, the one who has got compassion. When others' compassion dry up, your compassion just begins, your mercy overfloweth. We see you, Jesus, and we're just stunned by you, and you are the God of hope. Jesus, you hoped in your Father. He said, trust me, son, you're my beloved. And he went right out into the wilderness and was tested. And he said, I just hope in my God. At all times, he said, I hope in my God. I don't want this cup, but I hope in my God. And the people, he hoped through your eyes, and people, the Shulamite woman, the woman at the well, the Pharisees and Nicodemus, others from the Pauls, the murderers, that you saw them with this original design. You believed in your ability to redeem more than the enemy's ability to deceive. Oh, you brought them all to you. Oh, because you had hope in them. You had never put them in the disappointment room. You had hope in the next generation. Said forever. There's Psalms 144:12. Our sons and our daughters are going to grow up like fully grown plants. Our daughters and our sons like pillars and palaces are the opposite. But they're stately, they're flexible, they're going to grow up in the eyes of you. And one glimpse of you is going to be thunderous from where they have been challenged to go by the enemy. One glimpse of you is going to show for sure that you are who you are. So God, we give ourselves to you. Just continue to adore you tonight. We know that we build on our knees, that magnifying you, we become adoration pillars, aromas of you, and that will change all the hearts around us. God, we don't doubt the hope unseen that you have for us, to not focus on the God of evil, the microcosm of challenge, the world's media. It is nothing through the ages compared to one touch of a finger of you. And we're so happy we're alive together and with each other. In Jesus' name, amen. So I'd just like to say something in opening, if I could, to set the table. And I know that we're going to keep on a time schedule here. One, I was on the phone with John Swart, who was, an architect and but just a great builder, spiritual builder. And he reminded me of what Taylor had said, my next to youngest daughter, that we would meet on Sundays and we'd go through our vision and our values and vehicles as a family. Our vision was twofold, and was to love God in an earnest way and to love people. And it sounds general, but it was very specific in who we were to touch. And then we had 4 values, and those values I'll share with you sometime. And we were able to call each other on the values, like we lived in the presence. It was the Moses value. And so we were able to say, well, we don't feel like we're happy this day, and so quickly caused us to return. Or we would say it during the day, are you happy right now? Which means we're not living in the presence right now. And so it was awesome, and because we had all agreed on it in the past. And then the vehicles were the activity to reach our vision. So we always had somebody living with us, because we're always going to develop and mentor somebody. And we all prayed about who it was, and for a long time, and we chose them. It's like what my wrestling coaches did. They went out and scouted, and then they say, I choose you, but you've got to commit to what I'm going to ask you to do. And so you felt honored by the choosing. So on one Sunday, we get to Taylor, and Amy Ann had just skillfully and with wisdom had shared her vision for the family, and something she was struggling with. It was beautiful, tender, and we're all quiet. And Jed was to go next, but Taylor piped up and she said, you know, this is not the assortment of people I would have chosen to be a family. And we all kind of responded like, well, we wouldn't have chose you either. You know, just, you know, we're a little sick of you, Taylor. No, we didn't. We just thought, where is she going with this? And she paused and she said, but I'm sure glad it happened this way. And I want to say, you know, our team is, I want to give you a couple pictures very quick. There was one that the team was chosen. And sometimes it's like wax on, wax off. You'll have gaps and you'll have things. And I'll just know how much, you know, especially in the time that I've been, which I haven't been a good leader, I haven't been on top of things, and I've overestimated what I could do. But I just said, you know, Lord, those who know that they're chosen, and it's a pretty special journey they're invited into. You know, like Mike Bickle would say, I don't trust a leader until they hate me 3 times, or I'm disappointed them seriously 3 times, and they're still around. And so that's not something with purpose. That's not what you teach about good team dynamics. But there's a reality to us being chosen. And I, you know, had a wrestling coach that just knew I had been talented, and then he wanted to see how I came in and worked. And he just didn't give me any props or, you know, and so he finally called me over and said, Hartley, I think you can be a champion. And he said, I've seen your work ethic, those kind of things. So I just want to say to you guys, thank you. And just your willingness to move forward when things have been unclear. And, you know, Caitlin has brought up something which has always been true. She said, you had a large team before, and she said, so we're not able to get done, you know, what you've done in the past. And I really have 2 responses to that. Is, you know, Sam gave me a great word, but one is that we don't have to have many for what we're doing right now, but we don't want to be a sloppy jalopy. Sam had a vision today, and I really trusted in the prophetic that we were a red Ferrari and that we were just going to be manned with different operations in the Ferrari, the same vision. And so, you know, we need and we each deserve to be part of an excellent team that has a real brand from the Lord together and makes a real difference in this next 10 years in a unique way. And my responsibility is to give you a picture of that next 10 years. My responsibility is to help you see your part in it. And I'm more ready to do that. But I did just want to say, when you get me, you're going to get 2 things, me and the Lord. And one is, like John Schwartz said, his son called him and said, Dad, I'm in LA, which he knew. And he said, I have to do 6 jobs tomorrow. And he said, would you come with me? And his dad can swing a hammer and do all the carpentry. His son was doing it better. But he just rode along with his son. And they got done in a third of the time. Well, why did they get done in a third of the time? Is because when he rode with his son, it allowed him to be in the carpool lane. And so the driving time was cut down to a third. So there was a statement from the Lord that his dad brought a lane of favor and of open doors and of richness and heritage and inheritance. And that's one thing that you've got to know what you bring. And that's one thing that I feel confident that not only I, but the people that we're going to step into association with. Like, I really will work hard to get the people that have adored in the past and learned the pattern to be trainers and available for the people in the present. And we have that with Mark Hendrickson. And he has a class every Saturday, and Lori comes to that, Curtis, but that's available to you because it's an ascending class. It's a well developed. Mark really shifted from intercessory prayer to adoring prayer and decreeing, with our friendship. But Mark's his own man, took it to another place of ascending. And so I'll look at the people and I'll see, like when I started with Mike Bickle, I was so hungry. I just sought out all his materials, and I sought out his corporate prophetic and his individual prophetic, and his commitment classes, etc. So one is we haven't been good at necessarily offering the plethora of the journey we've had in adoration prayer, because we all know that when the fire came, it burned up everything that was organized, but it left it on a Z drive. Now, I've been going through the Z drive, and I'm finding rich things, and I wanted to look at just people looking at a Z drive and say, put individual prophecy in there and just get it categorized. That's starting to group things. And Tammy's, I'm ignoring her for a second here. So we're not going to get into the specifics, but because they got a plan. So go ahead, Tammy. You're on mute.
Do I stop the broadcast?
No, you're on mute.
I just got a text, and I was told that you are Facebook living this. Did you mean to?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So, hey, Facebook Live, I'm going to make a reference to you in a minute here. So, probably not all of this, but the taping, so I'll get to that in a second. So, really the goal of this adoring time and adoring with you is, in sharing just a foundation, is that I knew that there would be some that would be key, like Hilmar and different ones that couldn't necessarily get on this call but needed this information. So we didn't broadcast it, so we're getting kind of the core people on there. So, and I'm not going to go real long with that core people. I'll shift gears. So, but I do want to give this invite to other people as well about the Mark Hendrickson and the adoration journey. But we're going to do our own adoration journey. And really what we're hoping that will come out of this time, next times, is that we have people that are real clear. I found a lot of adorations. I found Hope 365. I don't know how to put it up. That's where a lot of things are so close. And I think Sam knows how to put it up. So you can have some real tools that will develop you in this adoration prayer. In the days to come, the difference that you're going to make is this hope unseen in two ways. One is hope unseen is about the future, and I have just been sowing in prayer and adoring towards some individuals, and I can't name their names publicly, but it turned a corner where I'm in conversation with them, and they're turning towards the Lord, and they're influencers, and they're ones that are respected by kind of both sides of the aisle. There's a better way to say it. And so, but it's the presence of the Lord in the story that has made the difference. And so the adoration journey is a story. It's this new encounter pathway. Then it leads to, as we adore him, a place where we go above the skies and we'll quit asking. We won't ask ever again. We'll be so partnering with him that we'll decree a thing and it happens. And that's the 2020 to 2030. We have to move into that level of authority. There's a whole lot that comes with that territory, knowing your angels that are helping you, knowing the spiritual tools that are happening. So hope unseen is something that I started to quake, because about every hope I seem to have got challenged. And so I feel the oppression and the fight as I try to step into the hope unseen. But the Lord really gave me some good pictures and breakthroughs that I'm going to share and how publicly so that people can really taste, touch it, and smell it. We did videos, but we've just been having a hard time getting them posted. And then we are fighting with just how we're getting placed, the algorithms and things. So please pray for that. And please think about like, share, and make a comment, because it just is the only way that we can get back to the people that we're getting to. So I hope unseen, I'm going to share about walking down the hallway of our journeys together and with one another. And the best kind of a friend is a friend that is a friend that is a friend at all times. And the brothers burn for adversity, Proverbs 17:17. So they sing the song in your heart when you lose your tune. When you can't walk down that hallway of the house and you got somebody dragging you because it's into your future, then that's where we need one another to proclaim and decree with all our heart, our futures for one another. And that's where we're going to be really important. We'll find ourselves in places, either time traveling or either praying into that place where we're going to speak into somebody's life, and they might not even know us. We might sit down by a coffee shop or something and just decree who they are before the Lord and where they're going, and to change their life forever. And I met somebody last week who said, you did that. And I was at a funeral for John Shore, and that happened. Now, hope unseen not only goes forward, but it goes backwards. And I want to give you this picture. I was a little kid. We had a lake house, a little $5,000 lake house, had a pontoon boat. I went to cast my line. I was a horrible fisherman. So it gets hooked on the pontoon railing behind me, and it falls into the sea. In the lake. So I'm trying to untangle it, and I had seen this bass in the water forever. I wanted to catch this bass. And all I catch is these little bluegills. So there's nothing on the hook, and this little bluegill nabs it. And I'm starting to pull it out, and it's all tangled up around the railing. And this bass leaps out of the water and grabs it. And I pull it onto the boat, and did I have a big fish story? But the Lord spoke to me and said, that was in the past. And you thought that you made a tangled up mess in the past, but that's where you caught your biggest fish. There is a redeeming of people's past that we're going to be tooled up to adore. And we need people that are not afraid to write their adorations, pray them,